Assorted articles Mzwakhe Goodman. Interesting video by Nicholas Mashile. In case you're wondering also, it's load shedding before the schedule. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure what's going on. Perhaps it's an unscheduled maintenance by ESCOM in one of the substations here in Moroka, Rockville, Soweto, South Africa. I don't know, I'm not sure. However, I need to continue making this video. My thoughts on the video that I was watching earlier by Unicolette Mashila, she was talking about retirement. And it's quite interesting what she was saying in that video. She spoke about retirement, especially for millennials. Millennials who never, like ourselves, like myself, who never, at that age rather, who never thought that far, not that far along into the future where age 65 they still have to be working because maybe there's no savings plan in place. Financial literacy rates, financial literacy is at an all-time low, and understandably so. Most people don't want to work themselves or frustrate themselves with the thought of financial literacy, knowing, counting every cent, counting the pennies, and all of this. But it's very important that we actually do that, anyone at any age. But this probed the question in my head even from yesterday as I watched the landscape. But this does not speak for every South African woman, in particular, black woman in particular. It does not speak for that because it's as though you'd see it in the celebrities where they would get married today and tomorrow they're soon enough they're divorced. Excuse me, soon enough they're divorced. You wonder if this person from an early age, did they see marriage being modeled in the house where their parents married, grandparents were they married? And the likelihood is yes. But then what is the mindset? Is the mindset a modern mindset where you can, where yours is to secure the bag, be independent, relationships be an option, having a man be an option, or you'll just have regular dick whenever you'd have, someone to just sleep with, and then all your needs are taken care of. What happens, especially in the black community, especially in black people? I mean, South Africa is a third world country, and we are influenced by the West or America to date. Sitcoms or all these sitcoms we used to watch growing up. We were not as fluent then. Some of us were not as fluent as we are now. Again, it speaks to the fact of education as a whole. You know, um, so our women, at that age, at an early age, taught to prioritize a relationship. Would we have a concern about retiring, having something to fall back on that will take care of you from age of 65, so that you are not as, you're not the old uh, girl in the or the old grandmother or the old lady in the workplace, whom the younger people in the workplace, um, there's there's corridor jokes, or there are jokes that are being made in your face. Sometimes the jokes are made behind your back, that it is time for this lady to retire. And does this lady have a husband at home, or is she by herself? Is she even married? Because then, I mean, you would not have to worry that much about the issue of retirement if you are in a marriage, and understanding the premise of a marriage, that it is not the idolized or the version of Disney being sold um, romance and happy life, happy wife, happy life. But in essence, it is a business. So that and not getting into a habit of getting married and getting out and cashing out, because then you don't have the ability to uh, to build something secure along with your husband. You're not there for the long haul. I mean, our parents or our great parents, my grandmother, grandfather, they stuck it out for the long term. We're talking about imishado that lasted, marriages that lasted for 26, 30 years, 35 years. But it seems to be true in first world and third world countries that marriages these days, they do not last long, because predominantly women are the ones leaving the relationships, or she's been engaged once or twice. This is not really an attack on women. Please get it straight, but it's an observation that if the first world countries are having these problems, especially with black women, what is the likelihood that third world countries, that such as South Africa, are having the same problems, where the woman does not prioritize the relationship, or she has not, or her mother did not raise her to be a wife, so that you won't have to worry about issues of savings and retirement, because then you combine your salary with your husband at an early age, right? Because as it's known, you know that uh, men, we value youth, fertility, youth and being fertile. When she's young and she's fertile, that's what we are likely to go after, even when you are in a marriage. The likelihood of you having um, sex outside of your marriage, it happens, but more likely it is with a younger woman. Some chicks, they know themselves, they know a position of being a side piece, because they understand, ukuthi, look, we share this man. But the point of this is, rather than focusing on getting the bag only, rather we need to take a look at what our values are and prioritize on that. I mean, we don't have a problem as men working and competing and making sure that you bring yourself up to a level where you want to get from where you are. You don't mind working for 5 years straight, knowing that you're building yourself to be somebody, to live the dreams that you had when you were younger. So then, but we need our woman. We need our woman. But if um, our women are not coming to the party, and we are competing against our own women, then it becomes a problem, really. Some women, you don't have to starve them off attention, because we all know, as men, we all know that uh, attention is a woman's currency from a man. But when she's not getting that, she's starved of that attention for herself. But what really prompted me to make this video was the issue of retirement, that it doesn't have to be as hard if we prioritize having families. If our women would then understand that we need these men, we need our men, and we need to become these feminine women, irrespective of what the modern day talk is about equal rights, and what a man can do, a woman can do also. That is not correct. You know that is not correct on so many levels. You don't need to compete with a man. You don't need to compete with a man. And how many other, I mean, I'm yet to gather stats statistics on, um, well, for one, the average salary in South Africa, I'm not sure if that is still the figure. It's 3.5, the average salary. How many people in South Africa earn that money? It's probably the majority. It's probably the majority. And you have earners, and then you have those who do not earn at all. And majority of those are men. Majority of those are men. I could, I could be wrong. I stand corrected. But I'd like to think what I see around is majority of those are men. So there's so much I can say in this, but it doesn't have to be like that. Not when we prioritize, not when we have a reference. Not when we have a reference, we can always look back at where we came from. Our grandmothers, grandfather. We had Okoko. We know that. It's just we didn't think maybe this time would catch up with this time would come. But here it is. We are 35, 36 this year, and we're still going strong. And it is mainly on the lessons that were parted by our parents to us. Single mothers raised us. Our fathers, some of our fathers had passed on. But what's important is that we are here right now, and we have to make do with what we have. But however, we live in a time where technology is at our disposal, information is at our disposal. All we have to do is just apply ourselves. But mainly, we just need to look back at how we were raised, and prioritize that, especially at an early age. For our women in particular, it's who I'm speaking to. You don't have to be worried about getting or securing a bag. Prioritize having a man. It's the education. Notice how the lack of education. There's this expression. It goes, by lack of knowledge, ye shall perish. So when you didn't have anyone guiding you, talking to you at an early age, as a woman, right? That, look, prioritize having a family, prioritize having a family at an early age, so that you don't have to worry about other issues. And then, of course, education, your passions and interests. If you wanna pursue a career, that's fine. But I'll give you a typical example. I know a lady, a young woman. Hers was always to prioritize having a family having children at an early age, and she has 2 to date, but she's only 1 out of 5. Her friends, upon seeing that, first were judgmental. Second, they then yearned to be, when she had a second child, then they yearned to have their own children. It's because it's hardwired. It's hardwired in the female to be like that, especially at an early age. So it doesn't have to be like that. So then the consultation of elderly, of the seniors in our family has to come to we have to use that. Okay, we have to use that to our disposal. Ask the necessary questions, open up, be vulnerable, ask the questions that you want to know. Sync that with your heart, mind, and soul, because you know what it is that you want. You certainly, as a man, don't necessarily want to live by yourself indefinitely. So then, maybe that's how the question can be addressed, of you not having to work up until ages of 70, where you are forced. And then you have institutions that come in, because after all, if you are encouraged or told that you can secure the bag, maybe you don't need a man. you can make it, you can make it out here. But the truth of the matter is that you will not really. You'll be, the likelihood of you being a 65-year-old that lives by herself, 70, still working, get, maybe even before the age of 65, you get regular dick until you no longer get regular dick, because you're just not as attractive. And we go after the younger women, or the younger women are more appealing, attractive to us, obviously. So the institution then comes in conveniently. It would come in, hey, look, we can provide a solution for you. We have the tools, we have the know-how. You can actually work with us, and we can make sure, upon on what you're earning, your potential to earn, we can then come in and work with you, so that we soften the blow. But the truth of the matter is, perhaps if you had a husband and prioritize a relationship, and actually understand that the relationship is not it's not, if you base it upon the principle, this is why I say the knowledge, the value of the elderly, the senior, those who are there, who have been there also. We should go to them and ask them how they did it, and most of them will tell you, good, look, you need to prioritize duty, honor, and respect. Love and happiness and all these other things, these romanticized things, they don't really work in the long term. Yeah, food for thought. Let me know what you think. I sorted the articles. Let me know. Mzwake Goodman. I am Mzwake Mlojo. But for the sake of the channel and building up this presence, it's Mzwake Goodman. I sorted articles. Hala.